Welcome to East Tennessee Pinball. Today I'm going to do a repair slash kind of review video. I've got this firepower. This is the second pinball machine I ever bought. It's kind of messed up. If you were standing right here, you could kind of smell the burnt smell. If you look at the high score, there's garbage stored in the high score. So let me tell you kind of the background on this one. So like I said, this is the second game I had, and I totally dolled it up the best I could at the time. I kind of like the way I've done it. So it's got a hard top on it. I bought this at auction, and like the whole center was missing paint. Put a hard top on it, all new post. Basically everything you're looking at, it's all new. I even put in all new inserts in the playfield. I mean, I went all the way. Well, those two hot dogs I did, those are original. Like the blue one, you couldn't get it at the time. The red one you could, and I wanted to keep them matched. So anyway, in every single post in the game is got a post light, and a couple of them have died, or the connectors are bad. I'm not sure. But anyway, I had this game on route for a little over a year, and I was going up there. I was literally going up there to take it off route because I was kind of wanting to bring my little baby back home. I'm in my house right now, and it was dead. You know, the location had turned it off, so. And I didn't really know what was wrong with it. I figured something silly, like sometimes this game, like one of these, it has a fizzle ball locks. If like one of those switches gets dirty or something it doesn't make, or it doesn't know that it's made, and the ball gets stuck. And then if it doesn't have all three balls back here, it won't boot. So I figured it's something silly like that. No, because when I brought it home, I could when I brought it in the house, I could smell it. And I'll show you here in a second, but basically, I think this coil here is burnt up badly. And if you look at it right now, that ball is stuck in there. So maybe I haven't looked at it at all, other than to know that coil is burnt and that ball there is stuck. Well, I have to look at it a little bit. I took the back glass off, and when I first turned it on, it was booted and the display lights were going, but the controlled lights down here were twinkling like they should. But the back glass, the numbers and everything, they were just like total garbage, and they were like twinkling and just like really messed up. So here, I'll take the back glass off real quick. So this has an original board set. It does have a new 40-pin connector. And actually this board here, like I said, this was the second board I bought. This board here I sent off to, that's Chris Hibbler. So he went through this board at one point, I think. It was just a bad transistor. In fact, I had swapped out the transistor and I couldn't get it to work, and I sent it to Chris. He swapped it out. This was the first time I'd had somebody tell me, oh, you didn't clean all that black soot. So even though I put in a new transistor, it was shorted across the legs of the transistors through all the black soot, because I didn't get all the black soot out. But I just saw that laying down there. So that's new burn. Not exactly sure where that was laying, but the light's not very good here. One of these suckers is probably fried. These are the special solenoids right here. When I say special, they're usually like the pop bumpers and the slingshots. So those transistors don't necessarily go through the CPU. Just the switch controls that transistor directly. It's kind of a bad design in my opinion. Oh, there it is. A little bit further down. It's that one there. Yeah. I didn't think it was a special one because it's this one here that's fried. But I have no idea why that fried like that. Because that's not a special one. Unless that switch broke in some manner, that it got stuck closed or something. Again, I haven't looked at it. And I don't know why that ball is in there. And it's not really all the way in there. Just kind of, maybe that's why it's not tripping out. But I'm gonna pull the glass and take a better look at it. Oh, and by the way, just kind of as a preview, a buddy of mine, Billy, had just posted a video not too long ago about the Weebly board that replaces both of these. It's like 350 bucks. And it's one board, so you get rid of this 40-pin connector, which is kind of a problematic deal with this design, because it's two physical boards, but you have to have both boards in the machine for it to boot, and you really can't diagnose which one is the problem if it doesn't boot, not readily. And so the Weebly board takes care of that, and it's 350 bucks. Well, this is a System Alpha board. It's $140. And from what I've read online, another benefit of it is it gets rid of the special solenoids. So it still has these solenoids on here, or these transistors, but it controls them in a non-special way, where when that switch on that pop bumper hits, it goes through the CPU, and then the CPU sends a signal to the transistor. So if that skirt gets stuck down, this board can be smart enough to just give one pulse and not just hold it down and lock it and fry your coil and the transistor, which happens pretty frequently on these old Williams, because it just happens. Why that one got fried, it shouldn't have, because it's not a special one. That one goes through the CPU, and it shouldn't have done like that, but it did. It is like, 45 years old, so, I guess I'll give it a break. But, so I guess first thing I'm gonna take the glass off, and I'm gonna see if I can get this thing to boot it up or start a game. So here's this coil. It is like totally fried. Like the plunger can't even go down because it is so. The sleeve is just melted. But the switch here, if I can get where y'all can see, it is not closed. I'm not sure why it locked on. I think I had a basically malfunction. So I guess I've left out one part of the story. So when I said I came home and I booted this thing up, and there was all kind of like nonsense on the displays, just like weird numbers, and they were kind of, the numbers themselves were kind of like on and off and on and off. I went in here and just started mashing these chips down. You see that? It made some noise and it locked up. So it's a bad socket, bad legs, something. I'm not sure if this board's got the original sockets. It probably does. I can see those right there. Those are original, but they don't have anything in them, so nobody would swap those either way. When I did this board, I wasn't capable or willing to swap out sockets. I mean, now I can, but when I did this game, that was beyond my skills, so I didn't mess with it. So that may be an original socket in there, but it'll probably be rebooted if I redo it here. Yep. Anyway, I think maybe it had a malfunction, and instead of just like losing its boot, it just locked that on, because I don't see any reason why that would lock on like that. So kind of a problem, especially, if I got it in my house, it's really not so much of an issue. But if it's in a location where you've got, casuals playing it, this coil locks on, they don't know. They're not going to say anything until it starts smoking. I tell you what, this must have smoked up. Oh, that one's smoked up too. I didn't even see that one. So both of those are smoked. Jeez. So that's the same event. Smoked both of them. So two of those. So that's not that even more makes it seem more strongly the case that this was a computer glitch and not like a stuck switch. Because if it's a stuck switch, okay, maybe one of them. And even with the stuck switch, you shouldn't do it because it's not a special solenoid. So it was some kind of a computer glitch. Like the MPU glitched out or some way or another. And in doing so, it locked these on. I'm betting I've got a blown fuse, because just in a tracked mode, if you press one of these switches, it should, because it thinks the ball's in there, it should kick the ball out so it goes back home to the trough. I believe that's the way it operates. So I think probably one of these, I don't know which one it is. It's not that one. That's the 12 going to the 5. It's one of these other ones. I don't have a multimeter with me. I don't have anything with me. I'm just my fingers and my eyeballs. I'm looking, using my phone here. It is a camera, and well, they don't look busted. I feel naked without my multimeter. Well, I think I'll come back tomorrow with my multimeter and see what I can see. Just as an aside, this is my first game I ever bought, this Demolition Man, and kind of went up kind of on the extreme with the LEDs on this thing, but I do kind of like it. I've got kind of blue GI lights. If I had to do it again, I'd probably do ice blue. I put on these homemade like Penn Stadium lights or pin lights, but I've got a combination. There's two sets of lights on here. One is blue, and another one is our black light. So it's fluorescent light. So it really makes all the fluorescent oranges really just pop out, kind of loud, but muted at the same time because all the blues are just kind of dim. For a while I had a fluorescent ball in there, a ceramic fluorescent ball, one of them out of the 5. So when that thing came out, it was just like, it was on fire, like 5 million miles an hour every time you shot it. If you ever played Addams Family, or Twilight Zone, that ceramic ball, they're super fast. And this thing being hot pink, it was just like on fire. But anyway, I'll get back to this other one, this firepower, tomorrow. All right, well, it's about a week later. I've got my toolbox, my travel bag, my trusty companion, Django. He's like, what the hell are you doing working at home? We're supposed to be sitting in a lazy boy. Yeah, I know. Anyway, so as I mentioned last time, I got 2 coils that locked on. So I bought one new coil. I've got it laying right there. I'm gonna have to get a second one. But that just further confirms the fact that it wasn't like a locked on switch. It was something, I shouldn't say short, but something screwed up on this board. And I'm looking a little closer here, and I pointed out that one fried transistor right there, and there's the other one right there. So I got 2 bad transistors. Anyway, so I am going to go ahead, I'm going to yank this board. I'm going to take it to the shop and fix it at the shop. But for the meantime, right now, I'm going to just, I'm going to desolder the ground on both of these 2 coils so that I don't screw up the new board. And I'm going to take this new tilt board, and first thing I'm going to do, I've got to hook up a little micro USB, hook up the computer, and download the basically the ROM files. I just watched a little video on it, and essentially you go to like IPDB, whatever, download the file of choice. So I've got this firepower, so download the firepower. It's a zip file, unzip it, and take the entire content of the files. I'm sure it doesn't use all of them because some of them are like, I don't know, there's like a PDF in there. I'm sure it's not using that. But anyway, copy the entire contents of the file on this board, and then it's ready to roll. I think. There's something about, oh yeah, there's the dip switch settings. This one doesn't have physical dip switch settings, so you got to edit there's a dip switch file you've got to create to set the dip switches the way you want, which I'm not really crazy about that. I'd rather just have the switches on the board. That's just me. I didn't have to mess with a file on the computer. But anyway, I guess I'm gonna do that. All right, so I just copied all these files that I unzipped, and I'm gonna go, I've got this board plugged in to my computer. It's got a green light. It said on the video it's gonna be flashing green, but it's not flashing. But I am using a Chromebook. Maybe it doesn't like the Chromebook. Anyway, there's my Tilt 1 disc. I'm just gonna paste them in here. It's flashing now. So we'll see if this just keeps flashing or what's going on. Yeah, okay, you can come up. Yeah, you can come up, Django. Yes. Oh my God, Joe wants to get up too. Yeah. They live in my lap. I'm at home. Oh my God, you're gonna have to back off, dogs. You're kind of cramping my style here. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, you're gonna mess me up. You see what I live with? This is my life and I'm at home. I can't get anything done. They have no respect. No respect. So apparently it flashes when it's ready. So I'm gonna press the flash button, I think it said, or the right button. That's the only button there is. I'm gonna press it. See what happens. Okay, it says it's writing. The yellow button's flashing. So, see how long that goes on. I don't know. Not that much stuff. Okay, I guess it's done writing. By the way, all those funny noises are not me, they're the dog. Yes, Django, you're kind of a loud, obnoxious dog. Yes, you are. You see what I mean? Yeah. So apparently the lack of dip switch settings, those are only for the very early games where you had the hieroglyphic type entering of it. If you've never done it, you don't ever want to do it. They're for the really early games. Hot Tips Phoenix. I've had a Disco Fever and a Lucky 7. You've got to, it's basically enter the stuff in like binary, and it's a real pain in the butt. So, but for the rest of the system, for the later ones, you don't have to do that dip switch setting thing. So I'm gonna unplug this and it's ready to go in the game. I've just got to desolder those two coils and not lock a ball because they're not gonna pop back out. Actually, I can replace the one because I've got one coil. So yeah, I'll do that. So I got this old board out and man, it roasted. And this one, look at that. I mean, that whole header pin is all melted and that sucker got hot. Like that little baby transistor, you bet it's bad. Stuff above it probably is okay, but it's got so much black soot. Remember I was talking about it will short across there? That stuff will definitely tend to short across there. I mean, yeah. You think, well, it's just a couple transistors. Well, there could be only, it's possible just those two tip 102s are bad, but there's still a lot of cleanup to be done. I was thinking to myself, you know, you're going to have this game at home, and if it was do that again, you could just turn it off, and I could. I looked up this board. So this board, you can see my note on there. That's my handwriting, probably okay. I've done some work to this. I don't know what, but I'll tell you what I didn't do. Let me separate these boards real quick. I mentioned that at some point I'd shipped this off to Chris Hibbler, and he had gone through this board, so it was good. But this one, like that I think that's the main CPU right there. I can't see what it says in here. 1600, yeah. I mashed on that, and sometimes I could get the game to like lock up. Actually, I got it to unlock up. It was locked up, and I mashed on that, and it kind of changed, and then it booted up. But none of those sockets have been resoldered. Those are all the original, and all the ROMs down here, they're all original. So this thing, I mean, the headers have been reflowed, but the sockets are toast. They're toast. So I don't know if these say scan B. Oh, they do. Is that what it says? Yeah. If it says Scambi, they're particularly bad. So this has got the original Scambi sockets. They're garbage. So every socket in this game, on this board, needs to be replaced. And honestly, by the time you do all that and fix this for 140 bucks, dude, it's hardly worth it. I mean, if your time is worthless, if you're just playing around, that's fine. But I'm kind of not playing around. And the new board gets rid of this special solenoid crap. These up here, where it basically bypasses the CPU. The switch goes directly to this and fires them. So if a switch mechanically locks on, these will look like this. But these are computer controlled. So this was a glitch of the computer system up here. and it locked on 2 of them, which is even more of a proof positive there's a glitch. But this was in a bar, so you know, it might have happened. It could have happened when nobody was playing it and just like sitting there idle and it locked on. I bet it got pretty smoky in there because I've had the game open for like in my house for like a couple weeks, and it's still, if you get close to it, it still smells. The magic smoke smell is strong with this one. I'm telling you. Well, I don't know if I'm gonna mess with fixing these or not. I don't know. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put in that T1LT, the tilt one, and I've already desoldered those 2 coils and fire the dude up. Well, I've got to just throw it in there real quick. So I got this thing installed. It installs in the normal 4 holes in the bottom. You do have to kind of lower this. Haven't tidied it up yet. But one thing I'm running into is I've got an extra connector here. Don't know where it goes. I did take pictures of the old one. I always take pictures before I take them off. And it goes right here. So I don't know what's going on here. That's coming right off the power supply there. Don't get it. I will get it, Big Dan. I mean, all the connectors are hooked up except for this one, and that's like a expansion board for System 7s. And these things are pretty cool. So whoever did this, they labeled these things with like black and black, red and red. It says red striped. So it's pretty easy. Gray and black, brown striped. I need to give myself some slack on this one. That one's a little tight. I need to take it out of that loop there. But yeah, it'd be pretty, as long as you're halfway paying attention. Like even this one that's like all different colors, it literally says green, white, red, blue on there. Yeah, black, white, green, blue. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, right there. So it's like pretty simple. I mean, ideally you've got the little dummy, the inserts in there so you can't put it in the wrong place. But you know, these old games, they don't always have them in there. About half of these are not on there. So maybe I don't need this. Maybe this board doesn't need, maybe this is powered the board beyond a 5 volt. Maybe it's like a 12 volt or something. I don't know. Not sure. I'm going to go look at the instructions one more time before I power this thing on to make sure I haven't screwed something up. I really don't want to fry. Even $140 is still kind of an expensive mistake. I watched the video portion where they plugged everything in. They clearly say this guy stays behind, which on mine is just hanging down here because it was unplugged. So anyway, that's good. So I'm ready to turn this thing on. Okay, I'll reach down here, turn it on. Well, it's booted up here. I thought it was going to boot it into audits. I did turn it on for just a second, and I realized I was wanting to do it with y'all, and so maybe it did the audits, and then I turned it off again, and it's not an audit. So I think it's ready to go. Probably not on free play. There is a free play option with this. So the sound is not working, and the solenoid is not working. I probably blew a fuse on the solenoids also. Yeah, don't have any solenoids. Well, let's see if I can figure that out. So the fuses seemed fine. I couldn't figure it out, so I started going through the test menu. And when I was going through the test menu, I got the solenoids to work, and I got the sound was making some noises, so I turned it off, turned it on again, and now I'm in audits. So I never got the audits the first time, so maybe, because I real briefly had it on, and then I turned it off again, so maybe I like did that little, it's almost like a flash. I don't know. I never did go through the audits properly, so I am going to just run through them here real quick. Maybe I'll go through forward and it'll stop. Anyway, that should do it. Let's see. I don't think I lifted off long enough for it to turn off. Maybe that was the issue. Maybe this board needs a few seconds to turn off for it to know that it's off. Okay. No, it's not starting the game. Okay, I'm going to go through the menus here. The displays are working fine. Lamps are going fine. It's not going into the next test. Oh, there we go. Now it's doing solenoids, and it's not doing the solenoids, but it did do them a second ago. There they go. I wonder if I've got some more coils that are fried, like maybe the... No, I heard that one. Let me go to the next switch. If I can get it. There we go. So it should be in switches now. Yeah, that did 11. Let's see if I get the coin door or the credit switch. Yep, it went to 3. So that switch is working. Should be able to turn this off and turn it on and play a game. Says 7 credits. Oh, you gotta have balls in here. Duh. Huh. There's 2. Wow, did I see a flash? I thought I saw a flash. I did see a flash right there. So I've got another coil that's fried. I hope I didn't just fry that. Geez, that really sucks. Yeah, that really sucks. Because that was the one thing I didn't like about this board is these are surface mounted. They're big. So yeah, you could probably resurface mount those. But yeah, it'd be nice if they had the through holes adjacent to it like the Weebly boards do. So I've got another shorted coil besides those 2. I should have looked more thoroughly. I'll see if I can find it. Well, there it is. That's the one I was thinking because it's right when I started the game. Dang. I hope that wasn't enough to fry that transistor because that would really suck. Because I borrowed this board, so I may own it. Oh, shoot. Well, yeah, I'm going to have to swap. I never did put this one in, so if that's the same one, and it's liable to be, I could put this one in there and start a game. Maybe I'll look through all I didn't see any other ones. I didn't see 3 coil transistors burned on the other board. I didn't really look past the 2 though. All right, I got that spare coil in there. I don't know if it's the right one. At this moment, I don't really care. I just want to see if I've fried that board. So I'm gonna turn this thing on. Okay, I got, see those should, I think those should be kicking out right now. And they're not, which makes me think it's not happy. Oh, I never did change fuse. How about I change fuse? I am a sinner. Oh my gosh. So this is the second game I ever bought. And I just pulled that fuse out of there. And I'm looking at the card here. It's supposed to be a 2.5 amp slow blow. I can't read what it says, but that is not a 2.5 amp slow blow. That's like a 15 amp. Oh, amateur. After all the bitching and complaining about fuses I've said, and look at me. Hypocrite. Oh my gosh. There you go. That's why you don't do it. Okay, I got a proper fuse in there. I'm going to put one of these balls. That should kick those out, I think, as soon as it boots up. There we go. Okay. So let's see if it fires up. So I'm going to have another dead one right there. Man, I got to look at this more closely. I thought, my gosh, how many freaking fried coils do I have? Well, that one doesn't look fried. I don't know. I just got that stuck up in there. Yeah, that's man, that's just got like burnt crap in there. My gosh. Let me try this again. No, it's not kicking that over. Slingshots are not working. Oh man. Well, that new fuse is blown. So I've still got something fried. I hope I don't have something fried on this board. I don't. That's the lamps. These are the transistors over here. And over here. Oh, that one does look a little funny. Wouldn't you say Q14 looks a little ashen? Damn it. I bet that one is that one, or maybe this one. I don't know. Unfortunately, yeah. This is gonna be a pain because I've got several things. I guess at this point I could go through the solenoid test and figure out what number fries the fuse. I think I'll do that. So I just manually measured the resistance on every coil in the game, and everyone that's still plugged in or wired up is good. So I think what's blowing it is probably that transistor right there, the one that's looking kind of gray, Q14. I'm gonna get out the schematics for firepower and see what Q14 goes to. The labeling on this new board is not consistent with the labeling on the old board. I don't believe anyway that Q14 is not the same as Q14 on the old board system. I don't believe. Because the problem I'm having, I believe, it's solenoid number 1, which I would expect to be this one here, or maybe at the bottom, but probably at the top. That's Q10, and it's not Q10. So here, I'll show you here on the. I pulled the schematics. So it's solenoid drive number 1 should be Q15. Q15's that one there, and that's not drive number 1, I don't think. So it's Q14. That's weird because that's in the middle. The Q14, I don't know what that'd be. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I looked at that. That's the right eject. I've got that one disconnected, so I don't know. I just don't know. But the lack of consistent labeling between this board and the schematics make it hard to discern. I guess they're not really selling this to work on it because it's like, maybe that's the way to think of it. This is like you throw it in there, use it. If it breaks, you throw it away, get a new one. I don't know. Kind of the way I'm feeling about it. But I hate to throw it away because I fried a transistor. And I don't even know. I'm ignorant about it. So this is an 8-legged transistor, that Q14. You see there's, or maybe one side, actually it's just a ground tab on one, and then there's 4 more legs on this one. So I'm not even exactly sure how to test it. I'm sure I could compare all these. Actually, that one there does look kind of bubbled up there. There's a big zit on it. Ready to pop. Oh, that's the same one, Q14, yeah. Yeah, it's definitely bad. But honestly, I can't tell for sure what that represents. I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's number 5. Which would be this one, which I've got the ground disconnected. I mean, maybe I need to check it again. I'm almost positive I did that. Out of a little bit of frustration, I went ahead and changed that fuse again, turned the game on, and this immediately fires even before the game boots up. So let me show you. I'll just do it real quick here. What that tells you is the transistor for that is definitely bad. So, I mean, I can look on... It's gray with like a pink wire. That's probably gray with red. It's down in the middle. Of the stack there. So yeah, that's even worse now. But turning it on again. So that's definitely bad. But it sucks I can't just go to it by looking at that. I'll show you the path. So that's number 1, solenoid 1, the ball release. And I go to the schematics, solenoid drive 1, that should be Q15. It's not Q15. They've got Q14 over here, which is a pre-transistor, and Q15, but that's not what they're doing here. Because they've got Q14 there and Q15 there, but that's 1 through 8. So Q14 and 15 are different big transistors. I don't think they're even using these little mini transistors. I think they're going directly from the equivalent of this to the big transistor. I mean, if it wasn't me being able to see that that's burnt, it'd be hard for me to tell. I mean, I guess I'd get the multimeter out and measure those 4 leads with a diode test and compare them to the others, but I mean, I can feel it raised with my fingertip there. So I've got to get one of those pieces. I got to get a good picture here. 50N10. I think I could surface mount that. You know, I was just thinking to myself, I bet this game doesn't use all those. I'm sure it doesn't. I could probably steal one. Actually, I was in the room thinking, you know, it'd be really cool. People make boards like this. Like, take one of those and just like solder one corner and label it spare. That'd be a really cool thing to do. I think people would think, wow, that's awesome if you put spare parts on your boards. Don't you think? I think so. I'd be like thrilled. But I could still, because I definitely don't have any surface mount parts. Tempted. I'm just thinking to myself, heck, I don't even know where any of these go, really. So I don't want to be, because I can't use schematics to figure out what's what. Unless I'm just looking at it completely upside down and backwards, but it doesn't seem like it's consistent with the schematics. So I'm gonna have to order some of those and do some soldering and hopefully get this board repaired. I should have caught it. I should have taken the skirt off, but I saw those two and they were obvious. And this one was fried underneath the skirt, and it was just like, it got me, bit me. And the bigger issue, I was a total idiot like 8 years ago or 10 years ago, whenever it was, had that big old hunk of fuse in there, and I didn't ever swap it out. I did recap this board, but I did not fix those fuses. Dang it. Anyway, I think I'm going to end this video here. That's probably enough. Board's pretty cool. The price is super cool. It's 140 bucks. I think I just bought this board. I think I'm going to buy another one for Billy and just ship it to him maybe. I think that's probably what I'll do. Or if he doesn't want one, I'll just send him the 140 bucks for it. Either way, whatever he wants to do. In the meantime, I'm going to get a new transistor and soldered on there. So I got this board pulled out so I can see a little better. You can see it's really fried. I was wondering why there's like 5 pads. The bottom 3 on the right are all attached together, and those are all attached to the ground plane of the board. So there's really only 3 functional pins. So this one is fried, obviously. That diode D40 is also shorted. So I looked on Mouser and I couldn't find any of them that had those 4 terminals on the right side. So I went back to the schematics here, and there's a really good digitized version of the schematics. And I think I kind of figured out the layout of this board. So here's the solenoid drives, and they've got these things labeled, and you can see they're labeled solenoid 5, 4, 3, 2, then 1. And I think these are in the, so I mentioned the fact that that one was halfway down. So it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So, and that's it. So that's solenoid number 1. It's labeled Q15 there. It's Q14 over here. So the Q numbers, they don't match up with over here. So that's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. But I can kind of understand the logic here. And like that third one down is not used. And the one right above it's not used. So I could steal some parts. I'm tempted to, because I looked like, I mean, I'm sure if I dug and dug and dug, I'd find it, but I didn't. So right now this thing is trash. I've got a soldering iron. I've got fresh parts right above it. I think I'm gonna go get on the kitchen table, because Jane loves it when I solder on the kitchen table. Let's always talk about lead and food contamination and all that. Yeah, it's probably important, but I'm gonna contaminate it a little bit. Well, total failure. I took off, that's the bad one. I took off the diode and the transistor without too much difficulty. Pulled off the diode above it, soldered it in place, and it was dead. So I killed it in the process of desoldering it and resoldering it. I don't know why my focus is dead. So then I did the next one above it is also not used. I measured, it was working. I desoldered it and it was not working. So I didn't feel like, obviously I put excessive heat. I didn't feel like it was excessive heat. I mean, it felt like if it was like a normal 3-hole component, it wouldn't have died. But these little suckers are fairly fragile, I guess. So I considered, taking that input lead there and running it up to one of these other ones, and I don't know, and then rerouting the pins, and then the pins would all be backwards, and then later somebody else put a different board in here, it'd be like all messed up. So I think what I'm going to do is just throw this in the trash and fix my old board. So here's the deal. I think this is a good solution if you got a game that's working. Unfortunately, most people that are buying a board, it's to fix a problem, or they've got a game, they've just got it going and they're trying to get it going, and they've got a board that's bad, so they don't know if the system's working. So you got to put it in the game. Now mine, I knew that I had problems. I disconnected those 2 coils. Unfortunately, there was another one that was dead hiding under the skirt. I mean, I guess I should have done that, but a lot of people probably wouldn't have taken the skirt off just to check to see if there's another coil burned underneath there. There was, and I fried that sucker there. Also had it overfused, so that's 100% my fault. So can't say anything about that. But anyway, this next morning, I was laying in bed last night. I was like, this sucker here was sticking up when had that ball in there, and it's like, yeah, sure enough, it's fried too. So yeah, so it fried that one. It fried that one. It fried that one, and it fried the one under the skirt just on the other side. So 4 coils locked on. So this game basically had a seizure. It locked on those 4 coils. So. Yeah. And this one, the transistor driving this one on that new board is very likely fried also. I haven't tested it, but yeah. So I got that going for me. Don't judge my work, Drago. I know it's ugly. I know it's ugly, but my goodness. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I didn't have a 50N10. I had a 2N10. I think it's pretty similar, just bigger. And I used a 1N4004 diode there. I got it tacked on the top there. It's ugly, but it's otherwise this thing is junk because I can't surface mount. I don't have the tools or the expertise. It's either this or it's in the trash bin. I still don't know if I've got another transistor that's dead. I guess I could check them all. It's going to be one of these or one of these. I guess I could run through them real quick. I think I'll do that real quick. So I did a diode test on all those and all those. That's all my regular solenoids. And they all tested good. So, you know, maybe I saved this. I don't know. I'll throw it in the game, back in the game tonight. And after taking one more set of grounds off that lower kick out, man, that thing just totally blitzed out. I mean, it fried a bunch of coils. By the way, I got to get some coils on order with Steve because I've got at least 3 more to order. All right, it's been a couple days since I hacked in that transistor and diode there. I just threw this game in here. Whatever reason, this 20-volt light is lit. The game's not turned on, but anyway, not sure what that is about. I did this coil here that was also burnt. I clipped the ground side off the coil, so I don't think I have any more coils that are cooked and are hooked up. And so I'm gonna fire this dude up. Contact. Nothing locked on. Let me get some balls. Here's 2. Oh, that's good. I'm missing a 3rd ball. Let's see if I'm gonna lift up the play field here. Grab the screwdriver real quick. Still have my credits on it. There's my ball. I'm gonna sit y'all down for a second. Grab that ball. Hard to do one-handed there. Okay. So, fire it up, see if it makes any noise. So, we're back in business. That's fixed. That's the one that I hacked in there, so that's good. I put lights up in these saucers. I think it's awesome. So I think I'm back in business, short of I've got 3 coils left to replace. So I guess I'll so that's the coil. I haven't posted the video. I just recorded a video today. I bought a big lot of parts. I probably got, I don't know, maybe a couple hundred coils, maybe 150. I don't know. I got a bunch of coils. I may have 3 of those in there or something really close. Because these coils, they don't have to be perfect because all they're going to do is kick the ball out. So if they're a little stronger or a little weaker, it's okay. They just got to do the work. It's not like a flipper coil where you really want to have the right one. At least that's my opinion. So I think I'm done. So here's my summary. I talked to Billy, the guy that sent me this board, and he kind of sent me to give it a trial run. Let me turn this off. And we discussed this a little bit. And so I think the board is fine for what it is. I mean, it's priced very competitively. It's $140 plus shipping. It's not very repairable. If they had done like the Weebly boards do and maybe some of the other ones and put some through holes in parallel with these, then that would make a huge difference. The problem with a board like this that's not very repairable is almost any time you're going to buy a new board and put it in a game, you don't usually know the state of the game where you're putting it into 100%. Either it's a game like this that was broken, the board was messed up. I thought I had the stuff the coil's disconnected. I failed to do that. That's my fault. But, you know, that's why I put a new board in it. So that my point being is, normally when you're going to put a new board into a game, it's because the old board is either missing or it failed. And in either one of those cases, you really don't know the state of everything in the game. You may think you do, or you can look and you can try, but there's certain unknowns. And if you fry a coil like that, it's not so simple to do that. What I probably should have done, I thought about doing this, but I didn't do it, is basically just cut some traces and reroute the signal that would have gone through this one through one of these unused ones, and then tie the pins together on the back side. I don't have that one all the way in. But anyway, I didn't do that. I hacked in a through-hole transistor onto the surface mount pad, and, you know, it's kind of, it is what it is. Actually, one thing I was wanting to do before I end this video, let me start another game, is so supposedly the special solenoids, which normally would be the pop bumpers and the slingshots, if you, on the old game, on the old board I should say, if you press and hold that switch, it will stay fired as long as you hold it. Now this one, from the advertisement I read, they don't act as special solenoids, they act as regular solenoids, such that it goes through the CPU. So the CPU should be smart enough. If you press and hold the button or the switch, it should just pop one time. So I'm gonna see if that's awesome. See, I'm pressing and holding it, and it goes. The old ones, if you press and hold it, that ring would stay down like that in the on position, and it doesn't take too long to fry a coil doing that. Same with the slingshots. Let's see. See, I'm pressing and holding, and that is a big improvement. So that is really, really cool. So I don't know what to think about the board. I think it's pretty cool. I'll tell you where I ought to put this. I don't know if I mentioned this in the previous segment, because it's been like over a week ago, but I've got a Stellar Wars, and I've got the old board set in there, and so I know that, and it's on route. I know that game is working, so it's like this one was before. If I put a $140 board in there, it would relieve a lot of the potential problems I could have in that board. And I'm putting the new board into a system that I know is already working, because it's working. It's earning quarters right now. So that would be a pretty good place to put it. But again, most people that are going to buy a board like this and throw it in a game, they're trying to fix the game. And for that reason, having the non-repairable solenoids, I shouldn't say it's non-repairable. I mean, I repaired it, but you could kind of see what I did there. It's not pretty. I'm not proud of what I did, but most people don't have a station to do surface mount that are working on pinball machines. I think that's a fair statement, and that includes me. So that's the best I can do with my skills and my tools. So anyway, that's all I got for today. Hope you liked the video. I'm looking forward to getting this thing back in play. This is one of my favorite games. It's a hard game, it's a fun game, but you can get on a roll, man, and you can get it going. Anyway, if you liked the video, click like, subscribe, tell your friends, share it with friends, and have a cold beer. Cheers.